Okay. Hey. How's it going?
Hey, Tanya, how are you?
Good. All right. For all of you watching today, I am with Dr. Justin Lin, who is my favorite physical therapist ever. I feel like you're more than a physical therapist, though. You're like a magician and a professional torturer or something.
Yeah, like a
Or a word?
sadist,
Like,
definitely. Some people come in here and they definitely get beat up a little bit, but all for good intentions and good measures. I think we push the envelope a little bit here differently than your classic physical therapist place. We're using our hands-on techniques a lot of times. Just there's a lot of dysfunction, and when there's dysfunction, there's scar tissue or adherence or inflammation we have to help manage. And I think that we do it better than anyone in this region or anyone in this, maybe the state, who knows. So but yeah.
You're a very talented man. I'll give you that. That's for sure. But so for the purpose of this live, there's no doubt we're living in some crazy times right now. People's feels a little bit surreal. This pandemic has brought about many changes for a lot of people. You know, some people's daily routine might not have changed that much, but other people's have changed dramatically. So I wanted to ask you a few questions from your perspective on how people can kind of navigate through quarantine. So the first place I actually wanted to start was with posture. So more people are working from home. They may not necessarily have a designated workspace. And they might be working from the couch or the dining room table or a corner in their closet. So I just wanted to start with what's something that people could do to focus on their posture and make sure that they're doing things right.
So people are really working in corners of their closet. Are they trying to hide away from their spouses? I think that might be.
You know what? They actually are. Somebody told me they were because, I mean, my husband's really, really loud, and it's like crazy being stuck in a house with somebody who's super loud all day long. You can't hear yourself think. But yes, actually, somebody has told me they go into their closet and close the door, which isn't the ideal work environment. So
I mean, that's a first for me. I mean, we were definitely in that's a crazier time for sure. And but like you said, I think posture's been a hot topic of a lot of us trying to manage our pain, manage our workload, and then balance that out on on a body that's unfortunately when you're stuck in certain positions, you're breaking it down, or it's a little bit more conducive. I think, the mail person just came. So anyways, always coming around this time. But yeah, so I find myself working on the bar stools and the bar at my kitchen and whatnot, and I see my wife working on the couch and all these funky.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I move around the house. I go from the couch to my office to I haven't been to the closet yet. I should try that one though.
Yeah, it's a little bit of your little weekend travel scenic opportunity.
Just to keep my sanity, so I'll travel around the house and figure it out. But yeah, anyway, sorry. Go on.
Exactly. So really, there's only one posture that is going to be the safest. It's being more efficient, being more aligned. We do a lot of postural videos on our YouTube, and I can put that down. I think for folks, they can check that out. I can type that in right now, but it's youtube.com /rehab revive and whatnot. But and what we really preach is just trying to support the unsupported body. We're fighting gravity. Gravity's coming down at a rate of about 200 pounds per half hour. So that's loading on things like your spine. So imagine that 8 hours, if you're jamming for 8 hours, oftentimes that's 3 tons of pressure a day. Now, if you've been doing that for 20 years, you're doing that for 10 years, 15 years, whatever, then you're going to find yourself having this stress and this unduly load. Then you add that on poor posture, trying to work in your bedroom or on your couch or something like that. Then you're loading that even more. So there's a few handy tips I definitely want to share with our population that's listening in. It's you need, and these are stuff you can have at home. You don't need anything fancy. If you got a couple textbooks, those are great. You can throw that underneath, your desk. Use that as a footrest. You could put 1 foot in front, 1 foot in back. I always tell people you want to stagger that, on something, on top, and then you can switch, which is good. Sometimes we need to change positions every 30 minutes. And then you just need, you need a handy little hand towel hand towel over here. Now, this is really cool. If you got this, and I've got one ready for myself, is you can take this, fold this in half. You can roll it a little bit, and then for me, I can stick this right around my sits bones, and I'm going to show that right now. Yeah. I can put that around my sits bones right here with my mic, but I want to sit right. You want to basically back into it, and then you're going to create a little prop. Now, what that does is that helps me slouch less. It gives me actually a little support to be more on my toes and whatnot. And then the next thing is, if you've got a handy little pillow, even better. Life gets better with this. You get a down feather pillow is one of my favorites, but just a regular pillow totally works. Now, this seems crazy, but what we want to do is we want to support your elbows, support your shoulders. So what I do is oftentimes I just hold this guy right here, and then I squeeze in, so like here again, I squeeze in, and then I just prop my shoulders so I can work.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. Yeah.
If you want to get more luxurious here, right? Now this is the creme de la creme. All you need is your $5, bath towel. Now this is cool. This is something I just discovered and I wrote about in my blog last week. So this is a new addition here at Rehab.
This one I haven't seen yet then.
It's very friendly. You just put this right in front of your keyboard and mouse. And what that does is, and I'll kind of tip right over here. Let's see if I can get this thing to show you guys. But I'm going to hold my, my Mack. But what I'm trying to do is I want to have my keyboard here, in front. And let me see, I'm going to lift that. And you can kind of see the best that I can. And then I basically want the towel here to be a pad, and that's really cool. And so what we want to do is then we're creating a little wrist and forearm support. So you got that pillow to help your elbows, you got your wrist and your mouse support. And the cool thing is, because this is pretty thick and long, you have that whole range to work with. Then to support your neck. A lot of people are coming out with neck stiffness, cricked neck, nerve pain that's coming down their arms, carpal tunnel stuff. Believe that or not, that's coming from, some text neck and whatnot, but also, just all that compression that you're putting right here. So if you can support all this area, support your lower back and spine, then that's going to be the key.
I love it. Thank you. These are all awesome tips. So the next topic I want to move on to is sleep. So when I came to you, I had a really odd complaint. I was complaining about my face being crooked, right?
Yes.
The funniest thing was that you said, the first thing you asked me was, how do you sleep? And I was like, what's that got to do with my face? And believe it or not, it actually does. So if you're right now, everybody's a little more stressed out than normal. And I don't know, I've never been the best sleeper anyway. So, added anxiety and all of that fun stuff does not help me. But it was really interesting to learn how terribly I was sleeping and how that affected not only my face, but like my shoulders and my posture and all of that kind of stuff. And I was waking up pretty sore every morning. So can you explain a little bit about the proper sleeping techniques and how we can sleep better?
Yeah, and so I'm going to try to log on to Facebook right now onto your page. Let's do that here, and then comment or whatnot as well. Yeah. That's crazy.
I was sleeping all wrong. I have no idea.
But yeah, sleep is going to be important. I'm going to load these here, and you can have that, and then I'm going to click off. But what's going to happen here is, once again, it's the same thought process. You want to support the unsupported areas. of your body. And there's basically a bunch of nooks and crannies. If you're going to sleep on your side, you need to fill in the gaps here with something to support, like a good handy down feather pillow. And then you've got your spine. So basically when you sleep on your side, the whole thought process is you're going to conform to the bed, and the bed's not really conforming to you. So you need to modify your environment. And so what you want to do is you put another little pillow or a towel, and those are on my videos as well. And then you want to close the gap with the inseam with the pillow between your legs. And that's going to be really important, just to kind of throw that down here all the way to the inseam, not just covering your knees. Anytime there's that gap, remember, gravity's coming down at a rate of about 200 pounds per half hour. So even with that little space that you have, it's going to compress. It's going to compress your hips, compress your lower back, your neck. Now, in your case, you're talking about the face. Well, guess what? You know, you have this thing that's suspended. And if you don't have all these other supports, it's going to really, you're almost tipped this way into the pillow, and you're smashing it, you know, compressing it at a rate of 200 pounds per half hour, right? So there you go. You know, think about that. If you had
women who are getting older or know all about gravity. So anyway, go on.
Yeah. So imagine just having like a 200-pound pressure or a barbell on your face for however long you're sleeping. What do you think is going to happen? It's gonna put a lot of pressure into your face, or aesthetically, that's something that we all want to think about. So, and that's sometimes the key here is to manage that. So I posted those videos. It's hard to really just kind of go through that. Someone's commenting, how do I keep my shoulder arm from falling asleep? That's the same thing. It's that compression, that 200 pounds per half hour. And that's even though side sleeping is your favorite, you can still modify that. So watch the videos. I put, you know, the one that says side sleeping, I think, I don't know if that fully.
Yeah, that's super helpful for me, because I know you recommend sleeping on your back, and I did try that for some time. And sometimes I can do it if I'm really tired, but other times I can't. So having the option to use pillows and still be able to sleep on my side without smashing my face and my shoulder and all of that stuff is really, really helpful. So you guys probably need more than, I don't know how many pillows you all have at home, but you might need some extra ones.
Yes. So we want to down feather, still definitely the way to go. But yeah, anything you can do
I think you can see the link. It's right above your first comment, I believe.
Yeah. I just did I just went on and did the side sleeping cat. So yeah, I think the key is habits, and if we can keep modifying those, take care of our bodies, that's going to help help us endure through this time. You know, a lot of us are really adjusting to a new habit, new pattern, and right now, the things that we can control, because right now a lot of people feel powerless, frustrated, and you know, hopeless to some degree, right?
Yeah,
you know, let's take care of at least.
We're all trying to do our best with what we have, what we know, and it's tough. It's tough.
Absolutely, and that's why we're doing these live things to help support our community.
Yeah, absolutely. You have one more little trick for sleep, which I absolutely love, and that's the cherry juice. Can you tell?
Oh yes, that's right. Thanks for reminding me. Yes, cherry juice concentrate, and you can pick that up at Sprouts. It's more of a syrup than it is juice. Now there's few prongs that help this. One is melatonin, and there's melatonin in cherries. So 2 tablespoons 1 hour before bed will help kind of knock you out. And basically 2 tablespoons equivalent to about 3 milligrams of melatonin. Melatonin then jump starts glutathione, which is a natural antioxidant in our body. Glutathione is something we need right now for our immune systems. And so what really needs to happen there is we want to spurn that healing process and help boost our immunity. So melatonin, in the absence of no melatonin, this glutathione doesn't get activated. So you need the melatonin and the glutathione to kind of fuse, and then it starts doing its wonders. And then so that's great.
I love it. I'm obsessed.
Yeah. And that's great for people that are either having trouble sleeping, and like I said, during this time right now with infections and whatnot on the rise, we need to take care of our immune system and the healing process. It helps the patients with nerve pain, helps people, like I said, the insomniac type of patients, and I think on top of that, it's just, I like it. It tastes good, and to the population that it does taste good to, you probably need it. Now there will be a point where you don't need it at all,
right?
And when you don't need it, that's when it tastes a little metallic-y. So just put it aside. And
well, and I think also when you get your habits right too, and you're sleeping properly, you get better at sleeping, right? Because you are more relaxed, your body's not in pain, you're not crushing it with gravity. And I think it gets a little bit easier, but like anything, it takes time. So you have to implement these habits and stick to them for them to take effect, right?
Yes. And that's exactly the key, is that it's this, you're changing the vicious pain cycle, or the vicious cycle, and you're moving it towards the wellness cycle. And that's the beauty of learning how to manage your pain. I always tell my patients, your goal here isn't, I'm not your fixer, I'm not your guru or your magic healer like one believes. You guys are. And I want to empower you with the right ways to be the facilitator of your own healing. You want to be your own pain manager. And that's what we do. And that's kind of the impetus of a lot of things, even why telemedicine is working. And that's something we're doing here more during this time, instead of putting our hands on during this crisis, to be still educators and learning how to empower and manage ourselves.
I love it. Well, last but not least, because I could go on for days about how you've helped me and everything that you've fixed in my body. But I know everybody's been waiting, because I've been going on about this plunge.
I got mine too.
Oh, that's too awesome. Okay, so you have a ton of tools that you use in your practice all the time. This one is actually my favorite, because I'll never forget. I came to you, what was it, after Thanksgiving or something, and you were like, "Hey, Tania," and you pulled out your plunger, and I was like, "What is he doing?" He's like, "Did you eat too much during Thanksgiving?" And you just plunged me. So little plunger has many uses, right? So do you want to share with us like some
Sure.
of the
So plunger, I didn't learn this myself. I mean, I had to learn this from someone else, but I believe it's like cupping, but the cool thing is it doesn't create the bruising or the massive. And cupping is usually using positive pressure, which can pop capillaries, hence the bruising.
Right.
Now, the bruising isn't necessarily like a tenderness to a touch. It just looks like you got beat up. And with the plunger, use negative pressure, and that's creating that myofascial decompression and whatnot. And so that's big. That got big with the Olympics. You saw Michael Phelps getting that type of care, and a lot of the Olympic swimmers, the last Olympics, and that kind of caught the craze. But the whole point is there's something underneath that is stuck. And when it's stuck, things need to be moving like oil and water. So all these fascial or all these restricted things, muscles, tendons, they need to be moving, and especially your organs. Right. And I know you're big on digestion and digestive issues. So the plunger is great to kind of build that back into a more normal bowel movement and whatnot. Because basically, if you think of scar tissue impinging or clamping down on your intestines, your ascending colon, descending colon, that's going to really disrupt the ability to have a smooth and non-distressed bowel movement, right?
So here's the thing, because obviously diet is very important. But a lot of people suffer from digestive issues and not having bowel movements as regularly as they should be. So this was actually really fun for me. Do you want to demonstrate how they can use?
Yeah, I can do it on my forearm. Basically what this is, and we have this on our website. You can pick up it's through Amazon or whatnot, but we also, since we're closed mostly, we sell these here. But what you want to do is you're basically creating a seal, and we have the videos on our YouTube, so I'll post that on.
Perfect.
And basically what I've done is create some compression here, here, and then, you know, anytime there's something that's stuck, then you can pull on it, and, you know, you want to create that tension, and then you can work on it, you can move your wrist, whatnot, and so you can do the same thing for the gut and gut health.
That's what I love about this, because I use it everywhere. I've used it on my calves, I've used it on my gut, I've used it like on my everywhere. It's
absolutely. But since some of you don't have you know, a plunger at home, and it's not your
not the toilet plunger.
It's not the toilet plunger. It's smaller than that, so it's more of a sink plunger. What it is you could do something similar to help your organs yourself, and what it is you just basically want to take your hands, you want to cup it, you want to scoop in and up. We all can try this. You want to scoop in and up, and then you can do this in sitting or on the toilet, whatnot, especially if you're having constipation issues. And then what you want to do is you can do a clock. You can think of, you know, for some people that remember Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the Carlton is moving the hips in certain ways. You can do it slower than that. And we call that pelvic clocks and whatnot. And so you can just lift and hold and just create more space. That's kind of what we do here as our specialty. We're just creating space through your muscles, your intestines, your organs. Yeah. So you can give that a shot, give it a couple minutes, and you'll feel that stretching, and that stretching goes deep, and that's cool. You can take care of your gut health. That's my little tip.
Yeah. You guys listen to this guy. He's awesome. And then finally, when this is over, you should actually go see him if you have any kind of pain, injuries, or not even pain or injuries, and you don't even know what you have. He's moved organs that I didn't even know were like in the wrong place. So anyway, that's all the questions I have for you today, but I heard you have some for me.
I do. So I you know, I definitely have a couple, for especially my population as we're collaborating. I think I'd love to hear, you know, you're a premier health coach. And I think for the population, my population specifically, how does that differ from a nutritionist? Or dietitian and whatnot, and you know, I mean, I know you've educated me in it, but I want to share with others what it is that, you know.
Yeah. So as a health coach, so I'm not a nutritionist. I do know a lot about nutrition, and I do talk about nutrition. A lot of the work that I do as a health coach, my coaching programs are very specialized to the needs of my clients. So I can pretty much help somebody get healthy from like the basics, who have no idea what they're doing, to some of the bigger issues, which is, excuse me, the behavioral issues behind food. So I work with people who have binge eating disorder, overeating, are really struggling on that dieting roller coaster and are stuck in that vicious cycle and can't get off. So that's one of my specialties. So I work a lot kind of behind the scenes, because it's never really about food, but can I teach people how to eat healthy and how to meal prep and excuse me, and do all of those things? Absolutely. So but primary focus is on kind of the behavioral side of
that behavioral, kind of like what we do here, for sure. That behavior is the manifestation. You know, you kind of have, you know, the diet itself is a symptom of, right. You know, sometimes we're emotional eaters, and I think now more than ever, now some of my population, they're not great with diet, because they're CEOs, they're busy people. Right. I would love if you had any tidbits of things they can do, like calorie counting. I tried that. It just doesn't work. Yeah. Do you have any like useful tips for people like my staff or people like that who come in and aren't as diligent, but something that's like, hey, it's like the size of my hand or something like that, and that's the portion I should eat, you know, something like that?
Yeah, you know what I'm really big on? Our bodies are our best teachers. We have just forgotten, like we have lost mind-body connection. So one of the biggest things, one of the most important things when it comes to, I don't count calories, I don't like scales, I don't like numbers, I don't do macros, I don't do any of that stuff. I am I spend my time teaching people how to reconnect with their bodies, how to honor their hunger and fullness. So, you know, a lot of people who have tried so many diets, they lose their mind-body connection because they're following what the diet says. So they're eating by the clock, or they're eating, you know, 6 small meals a day, even if they're not hungry. So for me, I go back to the basics and teach people how to trust their body, because your body will tell you when you're hungry and your body will tell you when you're full. But you have to pay attention. But one of my favorite ways to put it into perspective for people is looking at your hunger and fullness as a scale of 1 to 10, right? So when you start feeling hungry, so 1 being just starting to notice hunger and 10 being crazy psycho starving, you want to start planning your meal at a level 2, right? And you don't want to get past a level 5, because anytime we're hangry, it's so challenging to make good decisions, right? To make healthy choices, because we're so hungry. We just want to eat anything and kind of feel, you know, satiated. So, yeah, it's really hard to make good decisions. So you want to start planning your meal at a level 2 and no later than a level 5. And then when it comes to your fullness, it's the same thing. So if we're looking at it as a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being so full, that so stuffed that you need to unbutton your pants, you want to stop eating at a level 7. So this is where we feel satiated, we feel nourished, we feel good, we feel full, but we don't feel uncomfortable, right? And that's where the problems start happening. So if you are too hungry and you start eating, a lot of times you eat so fast, you miss your fullness cues, right? So it leads to
blow through that barrier, blow through that stop sign.
Yeah, exactly. So really focusing on when you're eating and when to stop eating is going to play a major
2 and 7.
in
2 and 7, great. You know, a lot of I get myself sometimes working so hard that you know, I turn into that hungry hippo, and I just, like you said, I blow past it, and then I have remorse and regret. I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah, and the biggest thing about that too is to be prepared, right? So when you're prepping, I mean, it takes some time, but if you, vegetables, for example, all the kind of stuff. So you go grocery shopping, you prep all of your stuff. It makes it so much easier to throw a meal together, like throw a salad together, throw a meal together when your vegetables are already clean, they're already prepped, they're already ready to go. So rather than like being starving and going, you know what, I can't be bothered cooking a meal, I'm too hungry for that, and then eating something that you wouldn't normally eat or you don't want to eat. If you make that small effort to prep beforehand, then it will make your life so much easier.
So meal prep, definitely, totally agree. Just having that pre-planned kind of intentional eating, almost, right? I think that's great for our consumers, our community to understand.
Another thing I have to say, real food. I'm a huge advocate on eating real food. So this doesn't apply to processed foods and all the junk foods. This applies to real food.
Real food, definitely. Well, I'm not sure if I had real food for lunch preparing this. I needed to scarf down something, so this might be a surprise. But my question is, I had habit today, right? Now, if you were to approve of a fast casual dining place, which one is the least lesser of the evils? At least so for me to know, in the off chance I don't prepare a meal.
That's a loaded question. Thank you. Okay.
I wanted to surprise you.
Thank you. I'm like, damn, fast food question. Okay. No, so honestly, I'll tell you my go-to fast food places. So usually if I am craving a burger, I will go to In-N-Out, because I get to create it. I get to create a healthy version that I like, right?
That's great.
Of the food that I'm eating. And then another one I actually really enjoy is Pieology. So if I'm going to eat pizza, I love going to Pieology because they get to make my own, choose my toppings, and like they have so many healthy options for like bases and that kind of stuff. I think what you really want to look for is the lesser of the evil, right? The places that offer healthier options and give you, I mean, most of them do, but It's also personal taste, but for me, In-N-Out is a good one because I love my burgers protein wrapped. And I actually just really enjoy going there. And then, like I said, the pizza, if I feel like pizza, Pieology is a really good one for me because I don't feel bad when I eat it. I feel good. And I do enjoy eating a pizza every now and then.
Yeah, every once in a while.
How I like it.
Wonderful. Thanks, Tania. Those are my big questions. I think we want to so habit is out.
I just don't. No, habit's good. No, you know what? You get to do that at Habit too. I don't know, because these are just like when I eat fast food once in a blue moon, that's just where I go. But honestly, it's personal preference. You don't feel bad about eating that kind of food once in a blue moon. As long as you're doing most things right, you are allowed to have some fun. So yes, you can eat Habit, Kat.
Yeah, girls just want to have fun. So I guess we could open this up to some of our friends, or if there's any Q&A. I think that sounds pretty good, right, Tania? I don't, do you have anyone out there?
Anybody out there who has
Facebook realm, virtual space?
I did want to elaborate on the anti-inflammatory stuff, though.
Oh, yes.
Real quick, since we are talking about COVID, we are talking about keeping our immune system strong and healthy. The best way to fight inflammation is to avoid eating the things that cause inflammation, which is processed foods, sugars, and all of that kind of stuff. However, there are ways we can fight inflammation naturally, which is to eat more fruits and vegetables, obviously. So some of the best ones that you can eat, avocados are great, broccoli, almonds, blueberries, and ginger, which is awesome. But one of my favorite spices is turmeric for anti-inflammatory effects. And it's great. It's full of antioxidants, and it's also been known to help with depression, type 2 diabetes, and viral infections, which I think is kind of important right now. Yeah, so really just focusing on eating whole foods right now, especially with all of this COVID stuff going on, is super important.
Yeah, I totally agree. Now, when I go to the market right now, I think one of the questions I have is there's not much stuff left, right? Everyone's going in there and zapping the whole place out.
Right.
It's like Marvel Endgame of food. So just disappearing. Now, what seems to be, remaining is something that we can get anti-inflammatory foods, because sometimes things, they might be around, and I'd like to look for them if that's available. Other than some of your known fruits and vegetables, is there anything that I can go and most likely will still be on the shelves?
Well, so I mean, it's crazy out there right now, and I have noticed that the grocery stores have been restocking, which is awesome. But I know people want to stay indoors and want to stay away from the virus and whatnot, and go out less often. So don't be afraid to buy frozen fruits. Rob and I do that a lot. We have our freezer is packed full of like wild blueberries, which is a really awesome antioxidant. It's also really good at cleansing heavy metals out of the body, especially the brain. So I have a freezer full of frozen fruits, and always start my day with a smoothie. So that way you don't have to worry about buying all the fresh stuff and having to keep going back. So yeah, stock up your freezer with some awesome fruits and veggies and keep them in there, and that way you'll have them on hand. Because I've noticed a lot of people have been buying the pasta and the rice and that stuff I haven't seen in a while, like the pasta and the rice. So I don't know who has that much pasta and rice in their house, but I might need to borrow some soon.
Not I. I'm still going to have it, I guess. Which is a bad habit, I guess, in the end. Yeah, I think, I think we just have to be more aware. And I think that's what this time, what I'm telling a lot of my community and friends and families, like, hey, this is the time to this is a wake up call. In all senses of the word for the world, and how we're going to dedicate ourselves to our family, our friends, our work life, as well our work family. Sorry, is what I meant, and kind of and be intentional. I think and really understand how like I said, this is just it's a wake up call to kind of be mindful of all the little choices. I think on your end and our end here when dealing with pain, more now more than ever. I think that's my feeling is that the good that's going to come out of this is going to be that we're a more vigilant community. We're more appreciative of one another, the acts of kindness that we can do for one another. I think that's going to be the key to the rebuild of America and the U.S. and our little towns and communities that we're all living in.
I agree. Well, and I am so glad that you are in my little community because I love you.
Love you too.
Guys, if you have any questions or want to hear, because you know what, we're going to be doing these lives again. So if you have any specific things that you would like to learn more about, let me know. Let us both know.
Yeah.
To do some more demonstrations and jump on lives and share some more tips and tricks and info with you all. So I think that's a wrap for today, Dr. Justin Lin.
Yeah, I added on this Friday at 1 p.m. I just want to put that this Friday 1 p.m. I'll be doing a live. I love talking about nerve pain, and that's kind of our forte. So we're already did one, and you can look on our YouTube. I linked that above for our first 2 lectures. This will be our last lecture, and then I'll reinvent something else. But this will be about kind of that thoracic outlet, neck, the and whatnot. So a lot of the nerve pain that really stems that goes down your arm stems from your neck. So we'll talk about that a little bit more, give you some education, some tricks and tips to take care of yourselves, while you're at home. And so I really appreciate everyone's time. Tania, thank you for letting me join in on your group, and hopefully it was helpful. Luckily, I didn't crack the screen of my Mac showing you guys. So yes, that's a win. All sets. Maybe a tour of your fridge. Hey, that would be great. I would love to see your fridge.
Oh my gosh, that's a good one. I will do that for you all. That's really I organize it maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. It's got to be impromptu, like right now, right? Like, what does it look like?
Well, you know what? My husband's been home more than usual, so things are a lot less organized than they used to be, but it might make for some fun, so we'll see.
Of course. Blame the husband. That's what I get all the time.
Jeez. Oh, his fridge. Not my fridge. My fridge is boring. They want to see your fridge.
Oh, my fridge? Well, I'm at the office right now. There's no food. There might be a couple bags of this, going on.
Stop it. Go get a bag of vegetables.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Can't wait to do this again. I hope you enjoyed all of this info. Thank you for joining.
And plungers, you can check that out. I linked it up on our website.
Not your regular toilet plunger, so do not go grab your toilet plunger.
Yes, please. Yes, get a nice new one, spring, and help yourself out.
Device, okay? No toilets.
Yes, it's very sophisticated. So thanks everyone. I hope everyone and their families are well, and you guys are inspired to keep building this community back. And I'm grateful. So thank you.
Stay home and stay safe, you guys.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Wow.